Alrighty, I see. Hello. We are live there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're live tonight.
And you have a
Live
great
tonight.
voice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
after the all right. Y'all ready to talk some Deshaun Watson tonight, ladies?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are.
All right.
There's a
All
lot
right.
to talk
Today's
about.
a whole lot of,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna let the experts get to it. In just a minute. But today is August 3rd, 2022. So welcome to After the Game, everyone. After the game. All right, hang on. We're gonna talk about Deshaun Watson right after this.
For your audience must be impressed or you're wasting your breath.
All right, welcome to After the Game. After the game. All right, this is a unique show here. We're going to talk about
Okay.
current activities in the sports world, but it
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily it doesn't necessarily start and end on the field or on the court. So we're going to get into today's topic, which is about Deshaun Watson. As everyone can see, I'm Mr. 411, and I'm not alone. I am here with Lashana and Lacey. So L and
Hey.
L tonight.
Ciao.
All right. All right. Well, ladies, introduce yourselves to the sports world. We'll start with Lashana.
Okay, so it's Lashana. Hello.
Lashana.
Yes, sir. Lashana is how my sister calls me. So when y'all see her, that's what she'll say. But hello. I am from El Paso, Texas, out in the great state of Texas, out in the west in the desert. And I can talk a little bit about things that aren't necessarily so sports centered because I'm not a fan. I follow the sidelines from the sidelines. Okay.
Fair
What's
enough.
up?
And I'm Lacey. I've been hanging out with Mr. 411 for a couple of years now, and I'm originally from New York, but I consider myself a citizen of the world now because I've just been all over. I'm married to one of those Texans, so I know how y'all are.
Hey, hey, we love it.
Yeah, he happens to be one of the from the Houston area. So Deshaun Watson used to be one of his favorites,
Oh, wow.
but not
Wait a minute.
anymore.
You said used to. I wonder if it has anything to do with him being traded or anything dealing with the current situation that he is in. So that'd be
It's
interesting.
both.
She's like both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Both. Both. That's cool. All right.
If he was still
Well,
a Texan, maybe it would be different, but I don't think so. My husband doesn't like Tupac. I love Tupac, but my husband can't stand him because he had all those issues where with sexual assault. So he's a purist in that way.
Does he still
oh,
listen to R.
wow.
Kelly?
Okay.
No, he does not.
Okay, cool, cool.
We do have a daughter.
All
But
right, all
no.
right. All right.
All
Okay.
right. All right. Well, we are also, ladies, we are also on Blackjack TV,
Oh, the Jack.
and we appreciate Blackjack TV. Yes, we appreciate the Jack, and that's what we're on Blackjack TV as well as YouTube, Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere. So this is going to be great here. Well, Deshaun Watson is the topic, and so I'm going to pass this over to Lacey,
Okay.
and here we
All
go.
right. Okay. Well, I mean, there was further news on his case that came down today, but basically, we're going to talk about the allegations that have been made against Mr. Watson, and I kind of want to like kind of set down the timeline. It looks. I took my notes. I took it seriously because I didn't want to get any of this wrong,
Okay.
and so um, the whole thing started back in 2020. Of course, we were in the middle of a pandemic and we didn't know about all this stuff that was going on. But in early 2021, Deshaun Watson requested a trade from the Houston Texans, and um, that was not well received. However, he requested the trade, and so we were like waiting to see what happened next. However, I want to say it was March of 2021, a woman came forward and said that she had been sexually assaulted by Mr. Watson, and then she filed a claim against him. Subsequently, I guess her lawyer, I don't know if he reached out to the people or they reached out to him, but he had managed to amass a lot more people who were also wanting to charge him with sexual assault. Okay, so while this investigation was going on, he ended up sitting out the entire season of 2021 into 2022. And by the time the investigation was complete, it turns out that two different grand juries in Texas chose not to indict Mr. Watson based on the lack of evidence in the plaintiff's cases. You know, you can charge somebody with something, but it has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And so once I won't say he was exonerated, they failed to charge him. It's not the same thing. They could always revisit if they got evidence, if there was a video somewhere, they would be able to recharge him. But as it stands, they chose not to indict him, and therefore he was subsequently traded to Cleveland, where he received a record contract of $230 million, and a lot of that was guaranteed. If not all of it. And so then I want to say, I'm trying to remember how the timeline went. He went to Cleveland, and then he settled all those cases, and then the NFL's arbitration process, the judge just earlier this week or last week ruled that he would be suspended for 6 games. And everybody is up in arms all over the sports world, like, okay, is 6 games enough? Is it too much? And it really, the reason that I want to talk about it is because it feels like what Mr. Watson did is kind of getting lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? It's not about whether he got traded to Cleveland. It's not about whether, he's going to be the number one quarterback in Cleveland. There's no question about that whenever he hits the field. It's a question of, like, this man molested women. I mean, they're calling it sexual assault. But when you hear about what happened, it's something more than that. So I wanted to know if you've seen any of the allegations, LaShawna, and if so, did you have any thoughts about it?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the allegations. And so I think the bigger or better indictment probably will be if the NFL cares about women. Because like we allow so many of these players to beat their wives, girlfriends, others. You're sexually molesting, raping people, and we'll give you a couple of game suspension, might charge you a couple of dollars, and you can go on to be, the greatest quarterback on your team wherever. So like we kind of do like really it's like, okay, it's a thing for a second, and so you're right, we do lose like the actual action because we're worried about the action on the field.
Exactly.
We don't care about what you're doing behind closed doors. Right. And even though there are morality clauses and stuff, it's kind of like what actually is considered against the morality clauses of these teams. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're allowed to flash women or molest women, grope women, and pay a couple of dollars and it's okay. Like what is, what is against the morals? Like I guess you have to just kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? Well, really, I mean, like that's the one thing that we're gonna get to that it's like, okay, when you kill somebody, like, oh, you can't play no more. You know what I mean? But you beat your wife, sit out a little while and then you can play again. So,
right. And the crazy thing about it is that all of this happens kind of in a fishbowl, and I understand like everybody has a different take on it. But if you just listen to what the women had to say, and you still have to consider the totality of the charges and the environment that they were in. But, the things that they say are very, very compelling. It's not the kind of thing that you want to have done to you. For instance, and this is from the first victim. She said that when apparently his modus operandi, his pattern is to reach out to people on Instagram, the gram or whatever. I don't really fool around with Instagram too much, just to look at the pictures or whatever. But he likes to go out there, and that's how he finds his therapists.
Right.
And so some of them are actual therapists, licensed therapists, and some of them aren't. But part of his pattern is that this is how he chooses his therapists or victims or whatever.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you look, like I would never go on Instagram and look for like a doctor or a dentist or some kind of professional that I need to have a lot of respect for. I wouldn't go on Instagram looking for that. I might go on Yelp,
Right.
Not Instagram. So that behavior is in and of itself. It lends itself to something, looking for something other than a massage. Some of the things that came out about his selection process was, he would use his clout as an NFL player and the quarterback for the Texans, and that would be how he would, get his foot in the door. And he would start making a lot of stipulations about what he would and wouldn't do, or what she should and shouldn't do. Like he refused to wear like with the draping that they used
right,
for the sake of modesty. Now, to be fair, there are people who don't mind having a massage with and no clothes on, but that's something that's supposed to be agreed upon by both parties prior to the session. And it's just one of those things. It's like the totality of what he has done. When you start laying out the details of it, it's like, to me, it feels like, what else could he have been doing?
Well, that's a good segue into what we need to get into is and you can enlighten us about. You all can enlighten us about the details. What are some of the details that you all have found out about and your thoughts on it?
Do you want to go with that one, LaShawn, or should I?
You can go ahead. I'm co-hosting with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, he was continuous. He never wanted to wear the draping. He always wanted, instead of having the sheet that, the sheet that goes over you, he would bring his own little towel. And when I say little, it sounds like it's a hand towel. And this is a big guy. That's not going to cover much. But to be fair,
unless it did, and maybe that's some of the problem.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. That would explain a lot. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any visual proof of any of that.
I don't know, right.
Well, it would explain a lot, actually. That kind of those kind of shortcomings tend to
give you a complex right there.
But he was. So he was, he was okay when he was on his stomach, but when he rolled over onto his back, that's when the real problem started, because an erection is impossible to hide, and when you're just wearing a little towel. And so then he would want people to manipulate it or kind of massage him around it, and it. In
the vicinity. What do you mean by manipulate?
In the groin area. Well, and he told at least one of them said that he said, if it gets in the way, you can just move it out of the way. Like trying to get her to touch him.
Yeah, make sure Mr. Happy wants to be touched. It's not necessary.
Put
it up.
So we're talking about the football. Move the football out the way. Okay.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Okay. or whatever it is. However, okay. I mean, but this pattern of behavior, and there are many women that spoke about this type of sexualization of the whole process. They're like, a lot of them are licensed massage therapists, and to be fair, some of it is like people think, okay, well, you can turn people down, but like another one of the things that he liked to do was tell them that he wanted there to just be the two of them there.
Right.
But And normally that should send off all kinds of alarm bells. But apparently, since he is the Texans quarterback and he has such a good guy persona, they trusted him. They weren't expecting this kind of behavior from him. And one of the big things that was in the news about him was they were saying that he thought that he had seen maybe 40 therapists in 5 years, but the New York Times said he saw 66 different women within a 17-month period, which, to be fair, is only one a week. But 66 different women is a lot of different women. Is it? And it was never clear to me if he was seeing so many women because it's always a one and done thing. Like, he does not get invited back, apparently. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, do you have to keep looking elsewhere because you keep burning bridges? Or
absolutely, I'm sure that's exactly what it was. I mean, like, if it was for the sake of, like, I'm an athlete and I need to get this massage, then like you figure like you set up and you have a rapport with someone, or even a couple of someones, you know what I'm saying? So you have regulars that are always going to take care of your specific sports needs, let's say, or whatever. But like you out here on a whole nother thing trying to get some, you know what I'm saying, get some like on a free side or whatever. And you know, so you have to kind of switch that up because that just move it out of the way is only gonna like work like one time. Like, you can't come back next week with the same like, hey,
you can't tell me that one time. You know,
I understand that. Like, I'm not happening to find your penis in my hand like by accident, or be like, oh, well, I didn't know that's what this.
You know, or he's trying to get them to help him take care of it. You know, apparently he's had actual sexual activity with some of them and oral sex, and they felt like they didn't have a choice. And that's what I would like to address in the next segment, Mr. 411.
Oh, okay. And what about the details of I know you also interviewed a massage therapist, so I think you want to go over that as well, right? Okay.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Okay. All right. Well, we can go ahead and transition now.
It's like good segue.
So go pay some bills, Mr. 411.
Oh.
And I'm gonna go get some wine.
I think well, that's what I was just about to say. I think you had some tricks up your sleeve. So I definitely appreciate that.
So you gonna pay some bills or what?
Oh yeah, we paying them as we speak. But you hold tight and give me like 2 seconds to get it over to the proper people. Okay.
You know, I'm a little anxious. It's almost 9 o'clock.
All right. Can you move quick?
Happy hour is almost over. Well, actually,
all right, go ahead and take care of your business. We'll be right back. We're back. We got another bill to pay.
All right.
Oh,
She's like, and we're back.
thanks for the warning, Mr. 411.
Oh,
Yeah.
what time it is. It's after the game, so
Oh, yeah.
drink all
Okay,
you
yeah.
want.
One of the things we were talking about was what were we talking about? Oh yeah, about DeShaun Watson. We were talking about some of the things that he did to some of the young ladies, some of the women who were supposed to be giving him massages. And as I read about some of this stuff, and it was really pretty disturbing because if you can picture just how tall is he? He's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, 6'4".
He's very tall, very large. He's going to take up a lot of space in whatever room he's in, and the fact that he chooses to be for the most part naked, that's and then he apparently there was one therapist that said that when he turned over on his
Mm-hmm.
back, so and he was basically with the little hand towel, and she turned around to do something. She turned back around, and he's what she called the happy baby pose. And I couldn't figure out what that meant, and so I had to actually look it up. And that was an education in and of itself. I don't know. It's actually a yoga pose, and it's supposed to be for health and healing and all. But he used it in a different way to make sure that everything was all hanging out where she could get to it when she didn't want to get to any of that. And that is not standard operating procedure for a massage at all in any way, shape, or form. And so I'm just listening to all of it, and I'm like, okay, because I didn't know all of this about it. But the more I listen to it, and the more that I understand that the grand jury failed to indict because of lack of evidence, and I also do understand that none of the people who were bringing the lawsuits against him or suing him were had gone to the police at the time of the incident. None of them. So
No.
that kind of makes you think a little bit. But as a woman, I know that those kind of situations can get out of control really quickly. And oftentimes, the best thing you can do to diffuse a situation is just kind of stop or just kind of comply to the degree that gets you out of there in one piece.
Right.
And I don't believe Mr. Watson says that he's done nothing wrong. He's only treated women with the utmost respect. And yet at the same time, he says, well, yeah, I did sleep with a couple of them, but it was consensual. Well, consent is a very tricky thing, in my opinion. If I'm a professional in a professional setting, I don't expect to have sex there, with a client. That's not professional.
Right.
And it's not necessarily something that she wants. But the first one, the Ashley Solis, she said that when he left, she was so disturbed, and he was aware that she was disturbed. And when he left, he said, I know you wouldn't want anybody to do anything to ruin your business, and I wouldn't want anyone to ruin mine. So she perceived that as a threat, which it was. There's nothing innocent about that statement in that setting. He knew that she was upset because of what he had done, and when I'm listening to the people talking about it, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to Sports Center and NFL and Get Up and First Take. I listen to a lot of that. Most of the talk it has more to do with where he ends up playing, or where he's, or how much maybe he should be fined, or how much he should be suspended. But there doesn't seem to be any real, I won't say sympathy, or there doesn't seem to be any empathy for the victims. I think people look at situations like.
Well, can I say something about that, right?
Okay.
Because mainly what's going on there is that, the emphasis, the importance, if you will, is about the impact of the games. That's what, a lot of those shows are geared to. It's more so about the impact of, how many games is this gentleman going to miss? How is that going to affect the team? And a lot of the viewers, if you will, that kind of look like me, we're leaning more towards, hey, how many games are going to miss so we can, figure out who's going to win and who we're going to draft in our leagues and stuff like that. So, I think that's where a lot of that comes from. But that's why you all are here. So, you mentioned you mentioned some of the details of that, but, do you all believe, do the both of you believe that, these things that you're reading about are close to accurate?
I'll let you try to take that one, LaShawn.
In what sense? Let's say that.
Well, like
what the victims are saying.
The baby pose, and all in the little towel and all that.
Well, yeah. Let's just start here with, especially for those who are licensed therapists. It's kind of like if you're a hairdresser and you're licensed, you go to school for specifics. And so, like, as a therapist, I'm not here to pleasure you. Now, they do have masseuses that, over here on the side of town, on the other side of town, they done shut down a couple of little places with those people who are not trained masseuses, which, 500 hours of credited school learning and whatnot. And so they have been shut down. But if I've gone to school of, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I've been trained to, take care of business once again. So like, your erogenous zones are not part of a massage. Right. So like, if you have your penis out, like you're looking for something that's not part of the normal package. Like you want your package to be included in the package, but it's not. You're doing too much. So
I like it.
Well, yeah, your package, your package is not part of my package. Like the massage package does not include that. And so that for sure. And we talk about like you sliding in the DMs to get somebody, and that's very new. Like you said, back in the day you go through the yellow pages and find somebody, or like you get a referral. So now it's like DMs, and so you're looking at people and stuff. So let's be honest, you halfway are looking for people who you find attractive, halfway to service you on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Like you did hit up a lot of like female-owned businesses and startups. And so if I am just starting out as a woman-owned business by myself, oh my gosh, look at this great opportunity that I have to service this. And like once good guy for the Houston's good guy football player, he's out here buying turkeys at Christmas and doing all these, you know what I'm saying? Like, so of course, like, cause that's some stuff that you're gonna put on your Instagram page to be like, look who I service. And that brings you more clientele. So that's one. So that is absolutely a threat when you say to me, I don't want you to, I don't want anything to ruin my business. Because absolutely with this, and you talk about the lack of empathy, no one cares about these women. And so like we'll go to the thought of masseuses being sexual sex workers, like the thought that that's what that is. No sir, no ma'am, I went to school, you know what I'm saying, I went to school for a degree, for certification, like I worked for this, like you can have sex for free and you don't have you don't need education in that, you know what I'm saying? So like they've actually worked and trained for this. And so for you to kind of discount that, and I think a lot of people still have that in their mind, though that's what that is. Halfway, this is not that serious, just because what's masseuses? And they're not like professional, like people don't necessarily see them as professional people. You know what I'm saying? And we are about the dollars for the NFL. So of course, being concerned about like if these women felt cornered, and they very much were. You've cornered these women in like because you have no one else with you.
Right.
It's the two of you. You're a big man, and here you are putting me in like a situation where it's like, of course, like I don't want you choking me out. You know what I'm saying? So like, of course, like let's see what I have to kind of roll you to get you out. Like, let me roll you and get out of here, or whatever I have to do to save myself. And people don't see that. No. It's of little consequence. Like, so like you can, because like we were talking about, it was like sexual assault. Yes, it's an assault. Even if you kind of consented, like you didn't consent because you really just wanted to do it. I don't want to die. I don't want to exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to die. I don't want to get injured. And I really don't want you to besmirch my business. So, what kind of,
what do I have to do to get out of here with the best possible scenario?
Absolutely. And I think we do that a lot to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, as women, we will try to figure out if we can kind of just go along to get out. And so bless these women, because,
And why is that though? I mean, why would you just come on out and just say, hey, no, this is not what I want. Pack my bags and get up out of here.
Really? Now, I don't know if it's ever happened to you. Hi, is that
you? Hey, sister.
Hi. If a man has ever pulled out his penis at you and wanted you to touch it, I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened to you.
Has it, Mr. 411? No, like, have you ever been cornered with the?
You mean with the female?
I said a male.
No, she really didn't say a male.
Penises, Mr. 411. Let me give you an anatomy lesson. It's not fun when somebody who you don't want to have those kind of relationships wants to force it on you. It's not fun. And let me ask you this. How many times do you hear about police officers who will shoot somebody who is unarmed because they felt threatened? Now, how do you feel threatened when somebody's not actually doing anything to you? Think about it.
Right?
Yeah.
You just standing up there being black and oh my God, I need to shoot.
It's like,
So here you are trying to shoot with Mr. Happy.
Yeah.
Like, so,
he was shooting with a whole Yes, he did. He did that to some of them as well.
Okay. So yeah. No, man. But like, okay, let's say if Rasputia had you hemmed up, Mr. 411, Rasputia got you in the corner, backed up. I mean, like, what do you, I mean, like, so like men don't necessarily have the same experience with it. But I mean, but like women understand, like we have to think about it. Like, I don't ever want to die. And like, we'll go back to like the police. You don't ever want to die. Like, we've made sure to say, like, do whatever you can to get home. We tell the kids that all the time. You know what I'm saying? So as a woman, get home, baby girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I tell my nieces, like, they got to make it home. And so it might not seem like wise to stay in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, to a man, it doesn't make sense to stay in the room. Babe, I'm going to stay in the room until I can get out and I can walk out.
Right. And it's not something that we necessarily are thinking about. Our mind just goes in protection modes.
Absolutely.
And we know our instinct tells us how to handle the situation. And when it doesn't work out, you find it on the homicide channel or whatever.
Okay, snapped.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It's like,
she should. Well, let's welcome Liz to the show. Liz, welcome.
Hey, sis.
Oh. The Williams sisters. Love it.
Yeah.
And let me just take a break and just say, ladies, y'all look lovely tonight. Here I go talking like, y'all look cute.
It's feeling good, honey.
That's why you look cute.
Florida's hot. Houston, also hot.
Well, Liz, you want to quickly introduce yourself to the sports world?
I'm Liz. What did y'all say?
Where we're from?
LaShawna talked about you, but not bad.
You already know.
Basically, I'm Liz. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm the ultimate Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, great. From Dallas, Texas, Pittsburgh.
It's all right.
Wow, a Steelers fan in Dallas, Texas. Interesting.
It is hard for a Steelers fan in Dallas, Texas. It is.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, that's amazing. All right, but as y'all heard, everyone heard, they are the Williams sisters. So you think you know about Venus and Serena, but
these are the
we have the Williams sisters right here in the building. Oh, absolutely. All right, so how about some details? From then, Lacey, you had interviewed a licensed therapist, and there were some Q&As. Can you go over
Yeah,
that
she's
real
actually
quick?
one of your sponsors, Mr. 411, Latanya Rainey. And so I asked her some of the questions after I read some of the things that these and I would call them victims had to go through. And I asked her, is there a confidentiality component to your services? You know, is that an implied kind of thing? And she said, of course. You know, you can't go around, you know, talking about your clients, what you do with them, whether she said if somebody called her and asked her if Lacey Dawson gets her massage there, she would say, um, you know, I can't help you, unless it's a referral, you know. But so she said no, and I asked her, I said, well, so if a client brought you a non-disclosure agreement, you know, would you sign that? She's like, no. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I already can't disclose anything. It's redundant. So, and I said, okay. So she's to be fair, she doesn't follow sports either, so she didn't know anything about this case. But she said that's not even a normal kind of a request to make. You know, you have to. That's a whole different level of something you're trying to hide if you're trying to get somebody to sign a confidentiality agreement when they already have to. It's like asking your doctor to sign one. Would you do that? No, because they're licensed, and the licensing part of it matters. And then I asked her, I said, and I wasn't being facetious. I wanted to know. She said, I asked her, I said, how often do clients become aroused during the course of a massage? And she said it happens sometimes, male and female, it happens. But what she does when it happens is like she will notice the situation, and she will tell them that she's going to step out of the room and give them a few minutes to compose themselves, which is a very nice way of saying, you know, I see that things are getting a little out of hand, and I want to like knock down the temperature, you know. So I thought that was interesting. It doesn't sound like anything that happened in these instances, but once again, when you're the only person there with a huge guy like that, it's hard to figure out how to be tactful about something like that. Plus, he's clearly flouting whatever your conventions are, because I asked Latanya about when before you accept a client. She said, well, during the client intake, that's when you go over the rules, her particular house rules and things like that. And she's like, and I was telling her some of the things that he was doing, like he won't wear the sheet. And she's like, unless he has some kind of a medical reason for that, maybe he's allergic to linen. I don't know. She's like, you don't get to just decide. One of the things that I was reading about from several of the victims is like one of his favorite things to do was tell you where he wants you to touch him. You're the massage therapist, and so if this is your condition, you know what you should be doing, but he's telling you where he wants you to touch him, and it has nothing to do with whatever his condition is. And she said that doesn't happen, you know, that
Wow.
No. And then I asked her, you know, because she said that, you know, it's are you allowed to participate in sex acts? I mean, I had to ask the question, right? Is that a no? You know? And she's like, no, you are not allowed to participate in sex acts. It's kind of like any other kind of professional. Like, you shouldn't sleep with your accountant. You shouldn't sleep with your psychiatrist. You shouldn't sleep with your pediatrician. You know what I mean? You shouldn't sleep with your dentist. I mean, there needs to be a certain separation between your personal life and your private life. I mean your private life and your professional life. That's not the way things are supposed to happen.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, Liz, you have, you joining us now, and here's an opportunity for you to go ahead and give us your opinion on the DeShaun Watson situation so far.
So I researched a little bit.
Just some of your thoughts on it.
About different things that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So she was saying like different things that the masseuse said that he did when they came in there. And I mean, like on this, like not saying that you're not victimized or anything, but there was a lot of red flags that would have made you be like, come on, you're not getting a massage, get up off my table.
Right.
There's a lot of things that would have got you ran out of my building. I would have said, no, sir, you have to, you don't want to wear a sheet. Guess what? You don't want to get massaged here.
Not for me.
You want me to touch you there? No, sir. You gonna have to get up off my massage table. So it just raises like a question for me of why they let this happen. I mean, like there's some things that are beyond your control, but there are some things you can say, "Oh no, we're not ever gonna make it here because I'm not gonna participate. I'll leave you in here by yourself. You can touch where you want to and massage where you want to and be without a sheet." But I'm leaving. So it made me question that as well. Like just the mind state of the women whose rooms he was in. Like I'm not saying nothing happened, and I'm not saying that you're not a victim. I'm just saying like some of this stuff could have been prevented in my eyes. Now that doesn't take away from him who wants to go pay. How much does a massage cost? Anybody know how much a massage costs?
Mr. 411.
I bet he knows.
Well, we'll just say, let's just round to, I don't know, anywhere between, we'll just go with an even number, $100. How about that?
How much does a massage cost with a happy ending?
Apparently, a whole lot. I don't know what the settlement was.
Is that an extra $40?
I have no idea.
I knew you said it $40.
And then one lady said that he went on. After he finished being a jerk, he went on about his business and paid her like $150 on PayPal. I'm like, no. But actually, Liz, your sister touched on that earlier because apparently Mr. Watson, he introduces himself to them. These are people he finds on Instagram as the quarterback for the Houston Texans, and then a couple of the ladies said, we looked him up and he's got this squeaky clean reputation, and it's like, wow, this is going to be great for the business, and it's going to be a great collaboration possibly. And so they were not expecting it from him, even though he was asking for some strange things. It's like, okay, but he's a celebrity, so maybe that's why he doesn't want people there. He doesn't want any like paparazzi and things like that. Like it would make sense, but then at the same time, it's like you say, it's like there's a point. I feel like the point at which like it got out of control is when you get there and you're telling him, you need to wear a sheet, and he's like saying no. It's like, okay, at that point, I think there's a fear that if he doesn't have a good experience with you, he's going to badmouth you. And so it's a really tricky situation. But I feel like always in these situations, the man has the power. Once you're in that situation with him, he has the power. You don't know what he's capable of if he's doing this, so it makes me furious, but it is what it is. But like you said, there were plenty of red flags.
There was too many red flags. If you ask me, but I mean, I agree in like once you're in the room, he's definitely the person in power. Once you're in that position, but look, I gotta go get some more massage oil from the back. I'm gonna be there. Right? I'm not gonna be back.
So my question is, like, when is the NFL going to be like, look here, you have to use a staff? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like with him, 66 people in 17 months. Like, when is it like, you know what? Hey, guy, we have staff, and you need to be down there in the gym over there with the staff person working on you. Absolutely. And if you can let them go ahead and see Mr. Happy and all of that, then God bless you. But they tell you, no, we paying for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like all that money they had to pay for him now, like I bet y'all thinking about that. Like we should have been like, you need to give it up the staff masseuse. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh no. And two points. One of them is that apparently the it's called Genuine Touch is the company that provided the massage therapy for the team. Mm-hmm. Apparently, like some of those people said, we knew he was freaky deaky. So we're happy when he goes elsewhere. I mean that's sad.
Don't you think they should say something like why does it take for all these women to have to come out and expose him when you knew this was going on the whole time and you just turned a blind eye to it? Like those people who turn blind eyes make me angry because you knew it and you subjected other people to this when you could have prevented it by just saying, hey, when he comes to get massaged by me, he's inappropriate or. Mm-hmm.
That's one. And two, though, if you have a funny proclivity, like handle your business at home. Like, listen, you have to find somebody that takes care of your secret. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get whipped with diapers, that's some stuff you do at home. You don't go find somebody outside. People have, like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you have someone at your, like, you have someone take care of you in the house. Like, you don't have that out in public. You don't go and get that. Like, you have someone at the house that just fluffs your pillows or what, you know, whatever your little thing is. Like, let that be. Why you laughing?
But you know, there's
you take care of it at home.
Even if you don't want to do it at home, say that at home is not your thing. You have to be at the massage parlor. Listen, you watch the news, like you listen to stories, you hear there is plenty of little, you know, not real massage parties that give you the happy beginning, middle, and end. You can just go find you a respectable one of those that are gonna sign your non-disclosure order because you know they're already corrupt, so they'll sign it for sure.
Yeah,
and you have them do all the freaky things that you want to do.
Well, listen, and see, this is why I think this man thought he didn't do anything wrong. He was like, here I am out here being a patron of good people. These little, I'm telling you, like he had to believe I'm patronizing these women who are
black-owned businesses. Thank you.
Black-owned, let me support the sisters in their businesses. And it's like, dude, like, take that somewhere else. Like, you didn't have to.
Like, I'm giving you a good Instagram review. And I gave you $150. What are you complaining about?
Yeah. No, sir. That's not enough.
Well, what if I ejaculated all over you? What's the big deal? I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And to this day, he claims that he never did anything wrong.
Yeah.
And he treated the women with the utmost respect. And that's the sickening part to me. It's even worse than if he just admitted it. You know, if you admit it, it's like, okay, now you can take your punishment. And
right,
but you're still a predator in your head. You know, you haven't
massage parlor right now. He's getting a massage right now.
For real though.
Take his stress off of those 6 games. He has to sit down. He out getting a massage right now.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, but you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Yeah. He really is somewhere in Cleveland. What's up?
I feel bad for them.
Well, speaking of those 6 games, do you all think that was a fair ruling?
I think it's great that he got suspended for 6 games. Great, but what does that do for the problem? He got punished, but he didn't get punished for his actions. He just got a punishment. No. It was like, you know, like when you have kids and all of them get in trouble, so you're not really punishing the person who did it. Like, say they break your favorite cup and they all get in trouble, but that's not, everybody's in trouble, so everybody's mad, and that's not really punishing the person who did it. Mm-hmm. So it's like he got a punishment, but it did not fit the crime. Like I said, he's out getting a massage right now. Nothing they did to him is preventing him from doing it again. He's absolutely gonna still get massages. He's absolutely not gonna wear the sheet. He's absolutely gonna say, "Here's $150 for a really good time." That's just the fact of the matter. That's exactly what he's gonna do, and he's gonna keep doing it. He's gonna keep doing it. And he's gonna keep doing it because he's not getting punished.
Mm-hmm. But do we punish any, like, so far as I know, like, I don't think they punished many NFL players for any of their stuff. Like, and so that's my thing. Because I was looking somewhere, what is it like? So 6 game suspensions are kind of like a standard for, you know, any kind of indiscretions or whatever that you're punishing. So like you could shoot a dog or molest a woman.
Well, no, shooting a dog,
shooting a dog is going to get you kicked out the league.
Well, you kill the dog. Now, you know, well, see, listen, I said women are not valued, but dogs are. Come on, let y'all know. Y'all know. Let's talk about this world. It's crazy.
It's the truth. It really is. You know. Sorry.
No,
yes, I think I'm sorry because this is what it is. This is the stuff that you're not going to hear in other places. You know, even the guys who are sympathetic to it, they don't feel like we do. They don't see it the way we do.
No. I'm saying, like, we go back to, it's all about the money though. I mean, like, because like, have they rehabilitated anybody? Like any of these players that have ever kind of gone through anything? Once again, like I say, like everyone kind of, okay, you pay your money, you sit out your, like, oh boy he sat out the season, right? But here we are, then you get traded and get a big payout coming like next season. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does that make sense? You know, we don't do it. Like, they don't do enough because he's great. and he'll probably go in the Hall of Fame. And
No.
so this will just be a blip on
Right.
his history. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a blip in his legacy that, oh, this kind of, it's a footnote on the side, you know, that this thing happened.
Yeah, I mean, that is just an excellent point. It's like Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and people like that who were on the juice or whatever. They get denied from the Hall of Fame and whatnot. But somebody like DeShaun Watson, if he wins a Super Bowl, he's
good.
You know, because he was not indicted does not mean that he was
Innocent.
But he thinks that's what it means. And that is very dangerous. Although I will say, I read through the that Judge Sue Robinson, I think her name is.
Yeah.
I read through that thing twice just to make sure that I understood. And she said, as far as I'm concerned, the NFL has proven to me that he is guilty of everything you're saying that he did. However, the punishment that I can
give
mete out has to be in conjunction with the precedence of what you've done, you know, as a league. You know, it's like, okay, you give him. Now, the one thing I disagree with her about, you give him like 6 months for domestic violence. 6 games for domestic violence. And she said, because this was a non-violent sexual. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, like I think sexual assault should be violence regardless. Like if you, any kind of thing, it's a violence against a person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you can't say no. So it is considered violence to me. I agree with that. Like that's trash.
Just because he didn't get to the point where he hit you because you said, okay, I'm going to comply to the point that I can so I can get out of here without him beating my, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, like so, like just because you didn't hold me down didn't mean like, you know, my compliance was consent. My compliance is not consent, and that is violence against me.
I think that's what it's called. Coercion.
Yes, ma'am. That's the word, coercion, right there.
This is not free will. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we would have left out, got the oil, Elizabeth.
Okay, well. All right, we're gonna have a quick commercial break. About a minute.
Oh, good. I need a refill.
Final question.
Ooh, there she go.
All right.
I'll be right back.
You have 45 seconds. You have 45
seconds.
Run,
I'll open the bottle this time. I'll be right back.
You can just walk away from the screen. You don't have to log off.
Shut up.
I want to go with her.
Hi, I'm LaTanya. I'm the owner of Heavily Spa Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, you can go online to Heavily Spa Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank Heavily Spa Mobile for being a sponsor of After the Game. That is LaTanya. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into the last question. Lacey will be able to chime in on the back end. So DeShaun is suspended currently for 6 games. The NFL is going to appeal. That ruling. But I want to know from each one of you ladies, should DeShaun Watson play in the NFL? And that's part one. And, you know, and then part two is, if so, how many games do you all think he should miss? And it is a 17-game season.
Okay. So I'm not saying that he should not play in the NFL. I don't think we should take his career away from him. I don't think that that is the answer to this problem that he has. But I do think that he should not play in the NFL until he completes a treatment program. He needs to go through some kind of shock therapy, not literally, but some kind of therapy or something. There has to be some kind of program that he needs to successfully complete before he comes back and plays in a game. Like before you can come out here and show your fans what you can do on the gridiron, you have to show the world what kind of man you are, because when football's over, you're still DeShaun Watson, the man, and you have to show the world what type of man DeShaun Watson is, and the stigma that's on you right now is terrible. So no, we don't take away your career, but we get you some help.
I agree with you. I say, listen, if we took everybody off the field that had some of this stuff, who would play?
Me.
The referees and the cheerleaders.
Ain't gonna be out there.
Ain't nobody gonna be out on the field, man. I think I wish we could, but who would be out there for real? But I agree with a treatment or whatever. And here I go. I am the sponsor for NFL Cares. And I say, if you get in trouble with anything, from whooping your kid to beating your dog to whatever this is, man, I'm telling you, you need to go through treatment. Then I need you on a commercial that we're gonna play during Monday Night Football, Thursday, Sunday with your face.
Yes.
Hi, I'm DeShaun Watson. I'm a predator. You understand? So we know. We know what you did. Why did you get training for it? What did you have to go through therapy for? We need to know what that is. So when people see you, run. Hi, DeShaun Watson here. I want a massage. So Mr. Happy's gonna pop out when I see you.
So he needs the commercial where it says, "Just say no to massages and mimosas."
Massages and mimosas. There you go.
Just say no to massages and mimosas.
Just know I'm DeShaun Watson and Mr. Happy's gonna make an appearance. We need to know. That's everybody, anybody.
I'm DeShaun Watson. Keep that sheet on.
Yeah.
There you go, right there. I love it.
Two things.
All right, close us out. Close us out, ladies.
One of the things that the judge actually said, other than just imposing a 6-game suspension, she also said that for the duration of his NFL career, he is not allowed to have massages outside of whatever is team directed. He can't get massages from anybody else. That might kill him. But honestly, I agree. I agree with both of you in principle, but I agree with Liz especially because, more practically speaking, it might be easier. It might be more meaningful to give him some kind of therapy, because the fact that he thinks that he has done nothing wrong, that's how psychopaths think. Something is not firing his brain. The judge has said, you're guilty. The other people said, we can't prove you did this because they didn't file police reports. So for whatever reason. However, he has a problem where he doesn't understand that he did something wrong, even though everybody is telling him that he did something wrong. So he needs not just therapy. We talked about this. I feel like there's got to be some kind of community service that he can like be involved in, maybe with a rape crisis center, not upfront and personal, because we don't want him soliciting.
Okay, you rub down real good now, man.
Yeah, so he can see the aftermath of these kind of situations or these kind of incidents, that the way that it really traumatizes people, because he doesn't get it, and so I think he should have community service and therapy. I would rather him have those things, and suspension, whatever. You can have a suspension,
right?
But he needs those things regardless of whether he's suspended or not.
Agreed.
He's got a problem.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't feel safe with him. Even when the judge says you don't have to, you can't get massages, he's going to get whatever that need that he has to have scratched. He's going to get that from somewhere or somebody. So I would not want to be in his path. Well, he wouldn't be interested in me, but I'm just saying he's a ticking time bomb. He's a predator.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody being on tonight, and job well done. And we're going to do this again in 2 weeks. Next topic going to be dealing with mental health in sports. So we'll chop that up by about 2 weeks for after the game. All right. So for Liz,
we had all the L's tonight,
right?
Yep. All the L's for all 3 L's. I'm Mr. 411. We thank everybody for watching. See you soon. Have a good one.
Ciao.
Night.
And cheers.
For your audience must be impressed or you're wasting your breath.
God.